Hi, Math 1 students. Miss Morrell here. I hope that you are checking Google Classroom regularly. I hope you're taking care of yourself. And I'm here just to talk to you a little bit more about angle relationships. Last week, you should have watched a few videos on adjacent angles, vertical angles, complementary angles, which are two angles that add to 90 degrees, and supplementary angles, which are angles that add to 180 degrees. So just with that in mind, this week's homework is going to involve some more of those types of properties. So let's say I have two lines that are perpendicular, meaning they're forming a 90-degree angle, right? There's a lot of relationships here. So I do know that from here to here, okay, would make half of a circle. So these two angles are supplementary. They're going to add to 90 degrees. So since this angle is 90, that angle would have to be 90 degrees. So I could put a little box like that, or I could put 90 degrees, either way. I'm going to go ahead and say that's 90 degrees. And I also know because these two angles are vertical angles, meaning if I reflected the angle across that, if I reflected this angle across this vertex point, they're going to match up. So if this is 90, this is also 90. And same thing, I know from here to here, all the way around must add to 360. So if this is 90, that's also 90. Okay, so all four of those angles are 90 degrees. All right, again, I could put a box here, okay, representing 90 degrees, or I could even put just 90 degrees. Okay, so what if I went right now and I drew in a ray? Okay, so I'm drawing an array, meaning it's starting at this point, continuing out, and I said that this angle was 10 degrees. Okay, well then that means that these two angles together would have to add to 90 degrees. Right, okay, so these two angles are going to add to 90 degrees because they're complementary, which again, that definition means they add to 90 degrees. So if this is 10, that must be 80 degrees. Okay, now what if, same token, what if I instead just extended this through? Well, this angle and this angle, okay, a little bit hard to see with those colors. I'm going to kind of color those in. This angle and this angle are going to be vertical angles, all right? So this angle is 10 degrees, that angle would have to be 10 degrees, which means this angle and this angle, okay, are vertical angles. If that's 80, that's got to be 80. Okay, so I can figure out lots of different angle measurements by knowing those angle relationships. Now, what if I had a different picture? Let's say I had one a little bit more complex looking. And again, I'm doing some problems that are in the homework for this next week. Okay, so you're going to see an example very similar to the one that I just put up there. But let's say again I have two lines, and again they're perpendicular. Okay, so all four of those angles are 90 degrees. And I have another line that's going through like this. And I put that this angle is 20 degrees. All right, so if this angle is 20 degrees, the angle right next to it, this angle, okay, so I'm looking at this angle is 20 degrees. That means this angle right here would have to be 160 degrees, okay, because those two angles are going to add to 180. All right, so I could figure out, right, that angle. What if I went ahead and drew, again, another line down here? If I said that this angle was 40 degrees, well then this angle over here would have to be 40 degrees. Okay, and I could go ahead and figure out now this angle, because from here to here, it's going to add to 180. So if that's 40, that must be 140, which makes this angle here also 140 degrees. So I'm using those angle relationships, okay? I didn't talk about this, but again, I could look at the fact that this is a triangle here. I might use the fact that those three angles also add to 180. Okay, hopefully that's helpful. Please join the Zoom meetings, okay, happening on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right.